So I reviewed the recent release of the Epstein Files, or the batch that the Department of Justice decided to release, and let's say it's way more disturbing than anybody could imagine. I'm going to divide this video into two parts. The first part, I'm not going to show you any images, just going to make some comments about how the Department of Justice has handled this, like spectacularly bad. And the second part, I'm going to go through some of the pictures, let's say like the ones that I can actually show you, and make further commentary. And of course, a trigger warning for that second part. If you if you think that you have the stomach, then you will be able to watch that. Otherwise, you might want to skip that one out. But first, my comments about this. I mean, now I can understand in one way what took them so long to release this. I mean, I guess that all the redaction, at least of the victims and all of the minors in those pictures, took a little while. This is only a batch, and there's a ton of pictures out there, as in a ton. And there's a lot of details, like some tiny portraits in some pictures that you say, oh, there's nobody in here, but you see maybe a studio, and you see photos on that studio, and then you have to be careful and redact all that. Regarding the redaction, at the same time, there are documents that are basically pitch black. These are documents of 40, 50 pages, and it's not like you have horizontal bars. You have complete black blocks on each page. So the Department of Justice, I'm going to comment about this when we go to the screenshots. The Department of Justice has claimed that they are going to have redacted only names of the victims, faces of victims, names of minors, faces of minors, and that's it, that they're not going to redact any names of politicians or celebrities or nothing of the sort. But when you see, literally, imagine a document, 50 pages, and the 50 pages are a black block, a complete block of black ink. What do you want everybody to think? Now, we have the fact that Dan Bongino, it was excellent timing. He announced that he was quitting the FBI this same week. I'm going to show you, by the way, a couple of things that have nothing to do with Epstein yet. Just to be sure that we are on the same page on this. I made a video for my Power Pundit channel in which I spoke about the fact that Dan Bongino this week was announcing that he was quitting the FBI not even 300 days in. And at the same time that Dan Bongino said this, and the Department of Justice announced that they were not going to release the full batch, the full thing of the Epstein Files, Kash Patel was doing this Cosmopolitan-style interview with his girlfriend. I mean, this is literally a joke. This is literally a joke in many ways. Now, I'm going to show you the pictures that I think that maybe you can stomach. But before we see these pictures, I want to tell you a story. I don't know if you are aware of something that happens on the internet. Used to happen a lot. You know that nowadays, you remember that we have platforms like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, basically any platform that allows you to upload images and then video, like as YouTube as well. But let's talk about images. And right now, let's say that we have this automated systems in which if somebody tries to game this platform, maybe Facebook, and upload something nefarious or horrific or things that we shouldn't be even talking about, to these platforms, they have these countermeasures to just prevent people from seeing that. And right now we have automated systems that do that. It's like these platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, most of that is automated. I don't know to what extent. There's still manual review of some stuff, as in actual humans reviewing what the automated systems are not sure of what they're saying. And I'm mentioning this because I remember like 10 years ago, I learned about that job in which you basically are hired by, I don't know, it could be Facebook. And you basically sit down on a terminal, a computer, and they show you those images that the system is not sure if they can green light or not. And of course, they're going to show you the range and freak stuff and gore, things with children, things that you cannot even imagine that people, very sick individuals try to upload to these platforms. And there's these humans that spend 8 hours a day, shifts of 8 hours a day, going through these images. Some of them would be innocuous, but some of them, when they stumble upon a really heavy image, imagine going through that 8 hours a day for weeks. As in, nobody lasts more than 2 months. Like the usual time that somebody lasts on those jobs is 5 to 6 weeks. It's more usual that people don't even last 1 month of all the things that they have to say and the things that they stumble upon and the impact it has on their psyche. And having said that, I can say that I have seen some shit in my life. Well, I have worked with criminal investigation. It was not fun. I have to say, it was interesting, but it was not fun, especially when there were children involved. And this is kind of a warning, right? Because when you get too entangled in this kind of cases, like the Epstein Files, like these people who manually review, I don't know if they still manually review these photos that people upload to these platforms. You basically, as Nietzsche said, the abyss can end up staring back at you. This is a spiritual warning. The photos that you're about to watch have a very bad juju to them. It's not only the shock of seeing this criminal with the little girls, but you know that there's something even worse than that. Having said that, let's watch the photos that were released, some of those photos, and understand the depravity of this. Trigger warning. Here we go for the second phase of this video, so you have been warned. Let's go there. I think that hands down, the worst picture, the worst photo, the most offending photo of this is this one, in which Epstein himself, sporting a tribal tattoo with that smug face to the camera. And this is what I tell you, that some pictures have portraits on them and they're heavily redacted. That is nice, but what is usually redacted is faces. They don't redact other things such as, other body parts, which would make it harder to identify somebody. But then you know that there was somebody in there, and that somebody was essentially a toddler. So this is the kind of stuff that we are talking about. This is the kind of stuff that we are talking about. And others like this, for example, I stopped watching after this one showing Epstein delivering a girl to a fat, old, wealthy man. We have this fat slob here. This is nauseating. And you see Epstein here with a young lady Epstein with a young lady. We don't know what happened after this. I mean, and I really don't want to find out. Again, you have to be very careful with this kind of stuff. Pure evil. I I don't know what I don't know what to tell you. What took them so long? And that's another question for the Department of Justice. Okay, you could have been, I mean, releasing this in batches. I understand that this has like thousands of these pictures, like Epstein looking at some kind of ritual with some boys. What I have, yeah, what in the fresh hell is this? But the Department of Justice could have been releasing this in, okay, maybe 1,000 at a time. You redact them, you release them, redact them, release them. And that would have been much better than the way that Pam Bondi has handled this. You remember the Binder Gate was laughable how they handled that. And again, shout out to Autism Capital for making this collection of images. This is serial killer stuff. This is beyond unhinged. And yes, this is kind of collage or some kind of annotations that he had full albums full of these pictures of him embracing what looks like young girls, and with annotations with text and stuff. Him like with kind of a leash around the waist of young ladies. I have no way. This was like souvenirs that he wanted. It's not only he took the pictures, he took time to make this stuff, or somebody, or he made the girls make this stuff. All in all, it was manipulation all the way down. Manipulation of bringing them, trafficking them. What is this? This is really bad. This is not the worst. There's some things that are not even photos, and you can't help but imagine what the F. There were photocopies of a manual on how to give a baby a massage. I have no further commentary on that. There are other pictures of the guy with the toddlers again. I mean, heavily redacted. You can see only by the size of the ears, by relative size of the body. This were children. We already saw this. According to the Department of Justice, is not redacting the names of any politicians, but it was already hit with community notes. I mean, these are black and pages of black Epstein with quote-unquote twins. There are some reports. Bill Gates. There are photos of Bill Gates as well. So the DOJ said they will only blur out the faces of minors and or victims. Not looking good for Bill Gates. Yeah, it has never looked good for him. We have an idea that's why his wife divorced him, because this was horrific. Pictures of this looks like a young lady with an oversized shirt kneeling down. Again, this picture, by the way, people were claiming that the DOJ had removed that because it showed, that this is that picture. You remember that picture of Trump with Melania and Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, and there's another picture of Trump, by the way. Okay, people were saying that this picture was removed from the batch, and I could access this picture with no problem. So yeah, we know that Donald Trump had taken pictures with Jeffrey Epstein, and that is the way Donald Trump was in the Epstein Files, but nobody has been able to prove that he had done anything. And again, this is something that we have discussed over and over again. If Donald Trump, if they had any dirt on Donald Trump, so is the FBI under Biden would have weaponized it like to the max. It's a no-brainer. For example, the Epstein crew identified girls to make sure they were under 18 years old. Can't make this up, folks. Jesus Christ. At one point, witnessed him asking for ID to girl, wanted to make sure under 18 because he wasn't believing them. Because John Doe messed up by bringing more older girls. So he wanted to make sure that the girls brought to him were underage, for minors. Wow, the girls would write to Ghislaine asking her permission to approve of what they wrote to Epstein. They asked for her to tell them what to say if she didn't like their words. Ghislaine was the handler, mastermind, and gatekeeper. I'm going to talk about Ghislaine in a minute as well. And I saw this, I think I found this even more disturbing. A lot of these victims of Epstein seem to believe that he's a messianic type figure. They worship him as the ultimate provider. Thank you for everything. We see how these are these kind of books that are made by hand. Dear Jeffrey, this was from 2002. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to participate in the safari. It was a truly wonderful experience, something I have dreamt of since I was a child. I appreciate so much your kindness and thoughtfulness. To ask me what would make me happy and then give me that to me is the nicest thing anyone ever done to me. So there's this kind of souvenir made by the girl in question, which you can see, yeah, this doesn't look like even 18 years old. My first night in Africa, but I don't know, but this looks like full-on manipulation of the creepiest nature. Letter to Epstein, presumably written by a victim thanking him for everything he has done for her. Man, you're gonna see stuff here. I don't know if I can review. Okay, we can. I don't want to. In terms of decoration, there's a lot of really creepy stuff in there. I mean, of course, nothing is worse than the sexual abuse of young girls. But the themes and the decorations that surrounded everything about Epstein was, I mean, as creepy as it gets. This is Epstein's office. Again, you can see that there are portraits in those pictures, and most of those pictures, I think, isn't this Fidel Castro? There's another picture of Epstein with Fidel Castro. So it seems like this is Fidel Castro with a victim, I guess. There's another clearer pictures of Epstein with Fidel Castro, and this is Epstein with a minor, I guess. Again, I can understand that they had to carefully go through these pictures and make sure that nothing was compromised. I can just show this for a very brief moment. It was the box of toys, and I can't just show those toys for very long. Again, the decoration, this guy had very disturbing taste. I have seen shit, and this guy, it's like this. We don't want to know what happened in here. They should do a full DNA swab in here because, yeah, very disturbing stuff. And the files released are massively redacted. Massively redacted is an understatement. It is an understatement. I just wanted to mention that one of the guys that is exposed the most in this first batch was Bill Clinton. And you can see that here he is in this attitude with, again, looks like a young lady with him. I'm going to show you some pictures. This is one of the pictures, most disturbing pictures of Bill Clinton with what looks like a girl as well in a sauna. There's a picture right after this one that I have to skip very quickly. I don't know, this one. Okay. Again, you can tell how the atmosphere of the whole thing. You see this, and this gives a sense of dread. I mean, literally, there's no other word to describe this besides a sense of dread. Again, Bill Clinton with Jeffrey Epstein. There are other pictures in here. Mick Jagger is in there. Who else was around? Okay, this is something that people are saying, that Michael Jackson was in it as well, and Diana Ross. But no, this were Diana Ross and Michael Jackson's children. I think I have that picture to clean up on Michael Jackson, because people are saying, oh, Michael Jackson was in it. No, this was an event. But there's also a picture of Jeffrey Epstein with Michael Jackson. Make of that what you will. I've never believed so many of the accusations against Michael Jackson, but this is the problem. And maybe that's the thing that Donald Trump meant when he said that so many people were going to be just enmeshed in this and drawn into this, and it's going to hurt a lot of people. We still don't know. We don't know who this lady is. And why was Bill Clinton making a fist with her? I don't know. Clinton with Kevin Spacey. You tell me. I know that Kevin Spacey has been cleared of everything, quote unquote. He's a free man. Oh my God, but tell me who you hang out with. Again, Bill Clinton and Kevin Spacey. And one last picture of Bill Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein. And spokesperson for Bill Clinton of the Epstein Files. The White House hasn't been hiding these files for months, only to dump them late on a Friday to protect Bill Clinton. This is about shielding themselves from what comes next, or from what they'll try and hide forever. So yes, people want to see the whole thing. And again, my question is, one more time, what took them so long? Because as they were redacting the stuff, they could have been uploading that week after week. Why would you take so long to release this? Why the secrecy? And there's a lot of pictures that were just inside the Epstein houses and like this. I mean, these are theories that are out there. This Epstein thing is 1000% ritual, time to coincide with the passing of Three-Eye Atlas. This is all about Atlantis, which at the core of the global elite's real religion. But most of the NPCs will fall for the comforting nonsense of conspiratainment shills. I don't know, but yes, I have a very bad feeling about all this. I have the worst feeling about all this. And this was back in 2021. Was almost 4 years to this date. The DOJ under Biden and Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyers have made a deal that her little black book of contacts will never be made public. And why is that? Why can't that be reverted? Why can't have the full disclosure of all this? I don't know. I mean, again, I knew that this was going to be a disturbing topic, and at the recording of this video, I don't know how YouTube is gonna take this. I tried to make sure to not show the most disturbing, even most disturbing stuff beyond this. But I think that the most important thing that we can take from this is that when we say that there are evil people out there, I think that we are falling short, extremely short. This is a terrible understatement. We don't know what the rest of the files contain. Apparently, it has to be released by the end of this year, which is, have 11 days to that. But I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Bottle Language Guy. Much love and bliss.